In the open source world, sometimes the most powerful changes don't come from some big top-down announcement. Nope, they bubble up from the community itself. Today, we're going to talk about a protocol called x402 and how a really clever workaround from a small team sparked a major evolution for an entire ecosystem. It's a fantastic story.
So, what's all the buzz about? Well, developers at Coinbase recently dropped this massive upgrade for the x402 protocol, saying it now supports, and I quote, any ERC20 token. Now, if you're not deep in this world, an ERC20 token is just a standard blueprint for creating cryptocurrencies on Ethereum. Calling this a huge unlock is a pretty bold statement, but it really makes you wonder.
Right. To really get why this is such a big deal, we have to understand what was locked up to begin with. There was this fundamental roadblock that developers were hitting over and over again, and it all boiled down to the specific kinds of tokens they were trying to use.
And that leads us straight into the first part of our story, the token roadblock.
Here's the deal. The original x402 protocol had a very specific limitation. It worked great with standard upgradable tokens, the ones designed to be tweaked and modified after they're launched. But for non-upgradable tokens, like this one called $XNY, it was a complete dead end. And that was a huge barrier for any project that wanted to use those kinds of tokens.
Okay, so you've got this problem. What do you do? Well, this is where the open source community really shines. A team of developers didn't just sit around and wait for a fix. They built a really clever way around it.
And listen, this wasn't some theoretical what-if kind of problem. The developers who built the solution said it themselves. We actually ran into this exact issue. They were trying to integrate that exact token, $XNY. So for them, it wasn't a dead end. It was a puzzle that just needed to be solved.
And their process was just brilliant. So they hit this wall with XNY, and what did they do? They built a custom ERC20 gasless adapter. Now, gas is basically the fee you pay for transactions on Ethereum. Their adapter figured out a way to let these non-standard tokens work without needing that usual gas fee process, which suddenly made them compatible. And the best part, in the true spirit of open source, they didn't keep it to themselves, they shared it with everyone.
Now, this clever little community fix, it did not go unnoticed. In fact, it set the stage for the biggest leap of all, an official evolution of the protocol itself.
So, just to recap, here's the before picture. The x402 protocol was a payment system that supported some ERC20 tokens. That one little word, some, was the entire problem. That was the roadblock.
And now, here's the after. Thanks to the update from Coinbase's developer team, x402 now supports any ERC20 token. That one word change from some to any. That's the whole story right there. It's a massive expansion of what this thing can actually do.
So here's what's so cool. The official update essentially made that clever custom-built adapter obsolete. But wait, that's a good thing. It's actually the ultimate validation. It's like their idea was so good that the main protocol just absorbed it, built it right into its core. Their solution literally paved the way.
All right, so why does this matter so much? What does it actually mean when we say this is a huge unlock for the entire ecosystem? Let's break it down.
Let's put it this way. Think about it like a power outlet. Before, developers had to check if their plug, their specific token, would even fit into the x402 wall socket. But now, the protocol is a universal adapter. Any token, any plug, just works. This just unleashes so much creative freedom for developers, opens the door for more projects, and ultimately leads to a much richer, more vibrant ecosystem. And this quote just wraps it all up perfectly. The very same developers who built that original fix said they'll keep contributing and co-building. You see, their tool might be obsolete now, but their goal was never to own the solution. It was to solve the problem for everybody. It's just a perfect cycle of innovation. One team's idea paves the way for everyone's progress.
So we'll end on this thought. This whole story with x402 really shows us that when you remove one critical roadblock, you don't just clear the path. You open up the possibility for entirely new highways of innovation to be built. The real question now is, what's the community going to build next?